Meghan Markle has faced backlash for her as-ever Christmas collection promo. It's been described as beige and depressing.
What if the world's most talked about Duchess tried to sell you Christmas?
Yeah, Meghan teaching us about nurturing relationships during the holidays is like asking a snowman for tips on surviving summertime.
And it just felt kind of joyless?
She is a toxic brand that no one wants to associate themselves with.
Tonight, we're breaking down Meghan Markle's much-mocked holiday promo, the pricey $64 candle, and the rumors that she's planning a big I'm back moment in Australia.
Saturday, she posted this video of herself assembling gifts while hard selling her as-ever holiday range, which includes a $64 candle and a mundane mold spice kit.
Is this a comeback, a cash grab, or something stranger? Stick with me, because the story behind this beige Christmas might shock you more than the price tag. Let's start with that video.
I just have no desire to watch her play home in someone else's home with a bunch of strangers that she's just meeting for the first time while they act like they are lifelong friends here to give us guidance on how to enjoy the holidays.
Meghan appears in a carefully staged holiday scene, filming a promo for her lifestyle brand's Christmas collection. On paper, it sounds cozy, twinkling lights, seasonal decor, gifts being wrapped with care. But the reaction online? Brutal. Viewers called the whole thing flat, gloomy, and weirdly lifeless. Instead of warm golden holiday cheer, we get dim lighting, muddy colors, and stockings that look like they were pulled from the bottom of a laundry basket. And then there's the product range itself. Front and center is that now infamous $64 candle. $64 for wax and a wick. For many people in the US, that's already pushing it. But if you're watching from Australia, that price jumps to around 100 Aussie dollars for one candle. In the middle of a cost of living squeeze, when families are choosing between higher bills and simple treats, it's not hard to see why people aren't exactly rushing to applaud a luxury candle and a basic spice kit being marketed as holiday must-haves. The tone of the video doesn't help either. Meghan is framed as this serene, aspirational hostess, carefully arranging mugs and trinkets as if she's guiding us through the perfect festive checklist.
The visuals, you just saw them. They were dark and miserable. Brown stockings. Are those the literal socks from her feet that she says she answers the door in when she's barefoot to not intimidate her guests?
It feels like we're supposed to see her as the ultimate authority on warmth, generosity, and comfort. But something about it just doesn't land. The set looks dreary, the styling feels oddly bare, and there's a strange contrast between what she's trying to embody and what actually comes across on screen. Because here's the tension at the heart of this whole story. Meghan Markle and her partners, including Netflix, keep trying to position her as a relatable lifestyle guru and holiday expert. But the more they push that image, the more it seems to highlight how far her world is from the day-to-day reality of the people she's selling to. And that disconnect doesn't just hurt candle sales. It feeds into a much bigger narrative about who Meghan is, how she's seen, and why so many former fans say they've checked out. And just when you think it's only about an awkward Christmas commercial, a candle, and some gloomy decor, whispers start about a new royal-adjacent tour, a fresh visit to Australia, and a plan to reclaim a country that once adored her. We'll get to that, and to the Netflix holiday special dropping on December 3rd. But first, let's really unpack why this one short promo hit such a nerve. Because once you see how carefully this image has been built, you start to understand why the cracks showing through it matter so much.
The guests that she's laid 8 mugs out the night before to make her to-do list shorter. Meghan Markle and Netflix, for that matter, continue desperately to position this woman in a role she is not qualified for.
To understand why this Christmas promo felt so off to so many people, you have to look at the role Meghan is trying to play. She isn't just lighting a candle or tying a bow, she's selling a lifestyle. The message is, do what I do, buy what I buy, and your home will feel as magical as mine. That's a powerful story to tell, especially around the holidays, when emotions and expectations are high. But here's the contradiction. The picture on screen doesn't match the image in people's minds. When most of us think holiday magic, we imagine loud family dinners, kids tearing open presents, lights that are maybe a bit too bright, and messy, happy rooms. In Meghan's promo, everything is muted, controlled, and strangely empty. No family, no friends, no noise. Just Meghan, products, and a camera. It feels less like Christmas morning and more like a showroom. And that's where the backlash really starts to bite. People aren't only reacting to the colors or the stockings, they're reacting to a pattern. We have heard stories about Meghan answering the door barefoot so guests don't feel intimidated, and lining up mugs the night before so her schedule feels perfectly curated. These little details are clearly meant to paint her as down-to-earth and thoughtful. But for many viewers, they land as staged, like someone trying very hard to appear effortless. Add in the price tags, and the mood shifts from inspiration to out of touch.
After December 3rd, we're going to dissect her joyless and familyless holiday special on Netflix, and it's going to be a blast.
A $64 candle, a basic spice kit marketed like it's some groundbreaking idea, and a brand that frames these things as essentials. For families watching their grocery bills climb and their rent go up, it can feel almost insulting. It's as if the holidays are being reduced to aesthetic checklists and expensive props instead of memories you build with people you love. And this isn't happening in a vacuum. Meghan's lifestyle push is rolling out alongside a new holiday special with Netflix, scheduled for December 3rd. It's being billed as cozy, charming, and full of seasonal joy. But critics are already asking, joy for who? Is this really about sharing warmth? Or is it one long commercial dressed up as a festive story? That special is important because it's another attempt to lock in Meghan's new identity, not as a working royal, not as the outspoken rebel of the palace, but as the calm, stylish guide to how you should live. If the Christmas promo felt dull and disconnected, people are wondering whether the Netflix show will do any better. Will we see real emotion, real family moments, real connection? Or will it be another carefully lit room, another stack of designer gifts, and another reminder that the brand matters more than the feeling? And just as this glossy holiday image is being built for global streaming, something else is brewing on the other side of the world.
She blurs out some of the message, so we don't know at what event they specifically spent time at, but they thank her for her appearance at this event, and they say that they are looking forward to visiting Australia sometime in the near future.
Rumors that Meghan and Harry are eyeing a return to a place that once adored them, Australia. But this time, the welcome might look very different. Now let's talk about those headlines about Harry and Meghan and a possible trip to Australia. Recently, a celebrity psychic shared a message online, claiming it was from Harry and Meghan. Parts of the message were blurred, so no one could see every detail. But one line stood out. They reportedly thanked her for appearing at an event and said they were looking forward to visiting Australia in the near future. For fans, that sounded like a hint of a tour. For critics, it felt more like a publicity tease than a real plan. Either way, the idea of a Sussex comeback down under raises a big question. Why now? To understand that, we need to rewind to 2018. Back then, Harry and Meghan's first official visit to Australia was a major hit. Streets were packed, people waved flags, brought flowers, and waited for hours just to see them walk past. Meghan, new to royal life and pregnant with Archie, was treated like a star. She gave speeches, hugged people in the crowd, and was framed as the modern face of the monarchy. It looked like the beginning of a long, positive relationship between her and the Australian public. But according to royal biographer Tom Bower, that trip didn't just boost her ego, it changed her outlook.
And in Revenge, she talks about that 2018 trip to Australia and how that's where Meghan really got that bug, that she was eclipsing William and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales. And she was so popular that she could make her own rules, promises, and demands. And that really starts Megxit right there.
He writes that Australia was where Meghan realized how strong her pull was on her own. Cameras followed her every move. Coverage focused on her outfits, her speeches, her background. She wasn't just part of the royal cast, she was the main act. Bower suggests that this may have encouraged her to question traditional royal rules, to believe she could set her own terms, and to imagine a life where she was not limited by palace expectations. Jump ahead a few years, and everything looks different. Harry and Meghan have stepped down as working royals, they've sat for explosive interviews, released a Netflix series about their experiences, written books, launched podcasts, and built a production brand. Each step has brought them more freedom, but also more scrutiny. Supporters see them as brave truth-tellers. Critics see them as constant complainers who can't stop talking about an institution they chose to leave. In Australia, that shift has been clear. Early on, many people there admired Meghan, saw her as fresh and exciting, and enjoyed the energy she brought. But as time passed and controversies piled up, the mood cooled. Polls and commentators now point to a big drop in her popularity. Some Australians feel she turned her back on royal duties while still cashing in on the royal spotlight. Others are simply tired of the drama and the feeling that every project is wrapped in self-promotion. So if Harry and Meghan really do plan a trip back to Australia now, it won't be a repeat of 2018. The adoring crowds might not show up in the same way. The media coverage will likely be sharper, more critical, and full of hard questions.
And I said to Tom Bauer,
Wow.
why did she not nurture this relationship with Australia more? Why has she, seemingly abandoned Australia? This is a few weeks ago, and he said, because she wanted Hollywood.
People will want to know, are they coming to genuinely reconnect? Or is this about boosting their image and expanding their brand in a country with a strong economy and big media reach? That's the heart of the tension behind these rumors. A new visit could be a chance to rebuild trust, to show a softer, more grounded side, and to demonstrate that they care about more than headlines and deals. But if the visit feels too staged, too polished, and too tied to Netflix specials and luxury products, it could backfire, confirming the fear that every airport arrival is just another scene in a long-running PR show. If Harry and Meghan do step off a plane in Australia again, the atmosphere on the tarmac will say a lot about how much things have changed. The first time around, it felt like a royal fairy tale. Crowds pressed against barriers, people cried, and headlines gushed over Meghan's every outfit and gesture. This time, many expect something much cooler. Fewer flags, more folded arms, and a lot of raised eyebrows. Why? Because Australians, like a lot of people around the world, feel that they've seen behind the curtain. Over the last few years, the couple have shared so many stories about their lives through interviews, a Netflix docuseries, Harry's memoir, and endless magazine covers that the sense of mystery has almost vanished. Every argument, every slight, every private feeling seems to have been unpacked in front of cameras. For some, that level of openness feels brave. For others, it just feels exhausting. And it doesn't help that every new project seems to come with a sales pitch. The holiday special, dropping on December 3rd, is supposed to show warmth, food, and celebration. But many critics suspect it will do the same thing the candle promo did: show us Meghan arranging an idealized life while nudging viewers to buy into her brand. It's hard to picture average Australian families, juggling rising costs and busy schedules, staring at a $100 candle and thinking, yes, this is for me. Royal writer Tom Bauer has described Meghan's earlier popularity in Australia as a missed opportunity. After that first tour, he believes she could have built a strong long-term bond with the country by returning often, supporting local causes, and showing up without turning every visit into a Hollywood moment. Instead, he argues, she focused her energy on entertainment deals and the bright lights of California. In his view, by chasing a bigger stage, she let a real connection slip away. That's why talk of a new visit now feels to some like it's a day late and a dollar short. The timing makes it look less like heartfelt outreach and more like strategic branding, a way to refresh their image in a key market just as new media projects roll out. Australians are known for having a sharp sense of humor and a low tolerance for pretension. They can cheer for a celebrity one year and turn on them the next if they sense those smiles aren't real. So if Meghan arrives expecting to be crowned the unofficial Queen of Australia, she's probably going to be disappointed. The people there remember the excitement of 2018, but they also remember everything that came after. The exit from royal duties, the interviews, the criticism of the monarchy, the big business deals, and now the soft-focused candlelit scenes meant to sell a feeling. The question is not whether she can light another candle on camera. It's whether anyone is still willing to believe in the cozy story that comes with it. So where does all of this leave Meghan Markle? Her bleak little Christmas promo, and those whispers of an Australian comeback? At the center of everything is one simple problem: image versus reality. In the promos, Meghan is carefully framed as calm, generous, and effortlessly charming. The stockings are perfectly placed, the mugs are lined up, the candle is glowing. She wants to look like the woman who has it all figured out, and who can teach you how to do the same, if you just follow her lead and maybe buy a few of her products. But many people watching don't see a guide. They see a performance. They see someone who walked away from royal duties, built a career off telling her side of the story, and now seems to be packaging her life into endless versions of the same glossy scene. Swap out the sets, the outfits, the props, and the pattern still looks familiar. Emotional speeches, carefully chosen words, and high-priced items waiting in the background. The more she tries to sell warmth, the more viewers feel the chill. That's why the $64 candle became such a symbol. It's not just about the actual object. It stands for the gap between Meghan's world and everyone else's. In a cost of living crisis, people are cutting back on gifts, skipping trips, and hunting for discounts. Being told that a nearly $100 Australian candle is part of a must-have holiday is like being invited to a party you know you can't afford to attend. And then there's Australia itself, a place where Meghan once shone, where crowds screamed her name, and where she could have built something real and lasting. Instead, it feels like she turned away, choosing Hollywood cameras over long-term ties. Coming back now after years of drama and distance, risks looking less like reconnection and more like rebranding. None of this means Meghan is doomed forever. Public opinion can change. People do forgive, but it requires something that no candle, camera angle, or Netflix special can fake: authenticity. If she ever wants crowds in Australia or anywhere else to truly welcome her again, she'll need to show up as a person first and a brand second. And that brings us back to that dark beige Christmas promo. Because in the end, it's more than just a moody video. It's a mirror. It reflects how Meghan wants to be seen: tasteful, calm, aspirational. But it also reflects what many viewers now feel: distance, emptiness, and a nagging sense that the joy is missing. The lights are on, the candle is burning, the stockings are hanging, yet something in the room feels off. So the next time you see that $64 candle, that carefully curated kitchen, or that Netflix holiday special, ask yourself, are you watching a real holiday or just another scene in a very expensive show?